All right, so we're diving deep today into some Nvidia stock analysis. And a lot of you out there, you're probably thinking about maybe buying some more NVDA. We're going to take a look at the price action and volume. And then this kind of interesting thing called IVOL premium / discount. See if we can figure out what the signals are telling us.
Yeah.
Is this a good time to buy? Is this a good time to hold? Should we be selling? What's going on?
Right. A lot of moving pieces.
Yeah. I know options trading can seem a little intimidating. It's got its own language, its own jargon, whatever you want to call it. But this IVOL thing, that's really important. It's basically how much the traders think the stock price is going to move around. So you can kind of think of it as like the excitement level around NVDA. High IVOL means there's a lot of potential for it to make big moves up or big moves down. So the first thing that really jumps out at me here is that we've got this consistent upward trend for NVDA. It's closing near its intraday highs. We're seeing higher lows and higher highs. But before I jump to any conclusions, what do you think about all this?
Yeah, so I mean, that upward trend, that's definitely a bullish signal. Usually means there's strong buying interest, particularly when you've got those higher highs and higher lows forming. So momentum seems to be on NVDA's side for now. But one thing that I am noticing is that today's volume was a little bit lower than yesterday's, so that's something to just kind of keep an eye on.
Interesting. Okay, yeah, so some positive signs, but maybe a little bit of a yellow flag there with the volume. And this is where things get a little bit tricky. The IVOL premium / discount looks like it's shifting towards a discount, meaning that traders aren't as willing to pay top dollar for these put options. Now, for those of us who don't live and breathe options trading every day, can you just kind of break down what does that actually tell us?
Yeah, so think of put options as like an insurance policy for your stock. So you pay a premium, and if the price of NVDA drops, the put option will help you limit your losses. So what we're seeing now is basically the price of that insurance is getting a little bit cheaper, which implies that there's less worry about a big drop. And it might even mean that some traders are starting to unwind their bets that they've made on NVDA falling.
So people aren't as worried about it dropping.
Yeah.
That's interesting, given all the economic news and all the other stuff that's been happening lately. So it sounds like what this analysis is suggesting is that NVDA might actually climb even higher over the next few trading days, maybe even hit those projected highs.
Yeah.
What do you think?
The short-term picture is looking pretty good. However, there are a couple things that we need to consider. Those projected daily highs, they're not expanding as much, which could be a sign that momentum is starting to slow down a little bit. And then you've also got that shrinking IVOL premium along with the price starting to level off a little bit. And those two things together could indicate that we're kind of nearing a peak.
Right. Yeah. And, you mentioned in your notes that you were a little bit worried about NVDA's valuation. Maybe this IVOL discount suggests that the market is starting to kind of factor in some of that risk. But then again, you also shared that article about their new AI chip that's supposed to be
Game changer.
Yeah, like a total game changer.
Exactly. And that new chip that could be huge for NVDA in the long run. And that's kind of the thing about stock analysis. You've got these technical signals like the IVOL, but then you've also got to consider those fundamental factors like new products, earnings, all that kind of stuff.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And trying to balance those two things, it can be really difficult.
Right. It's not easy.
Yeah. So for those of you listening, here's the bottom line. NVDA is looking strong, but don't get carried away. The signals are a little bit mixed here. It's kind of like, remember that time that we both panicked and sold another stock too early?
Oh, yeah. I try not to think about that.
Yeah.
Not my best moment.
Yeah.
Don't overreact.
So what do you think? What do you think people should be doing?
I mean, starting new positions or even adding to existing NVDA holdings right now, I think that's a little bit risky. Historically, when IVOL drops to a discount like this and the price is high, we often see a pullback.
And plus, let's not forget, we've got some big economic news coming out next week, inflation data, some other key indicators, and that could really shake things up for the whole market, NVDA included.
Absolutely.
All right, so to wrap things up, NVDA is definitely showing strength, but I think caution is key here. We've got mixed signals, and the overall market situation just adds another layer of complexity. Last word, what do you think?
Yeah. I would say before you make any decisions, just think about your own risk tolerance and the bigger picture of the market. How much weight are you going to put on those technical signals like IVOL versus the fundamentals and the economic data that's coming out? That's really where your own analysis and judgment have to come into play.
Couldn't have said it better myself. All right, that's it for today's deep dive. Thanks for listening.